Hi everybody. Yes, Mom and I, Friday is the day Mom and I go out and get groceries. And of course the one store that gets orchids, Save On here, had orchids. Oh boy, and they were so beautiful. And I'm not sure who was instigating who, but we ended up with two. So anyway, I'll show you what we got. We got this huge, big one. It is beautiful dollar. Beautiful. I was going to say it was $29. So it wasn't cheap, but it was fairly reasonable for the size. And it is beautiful. Look at this. And it does have a few split leaves. One here and a couple underneath. But it does also have, lots of aerial roots, lots of leaves, and we'll see what it looks like inside. We're going to repot it, and if we have time, we'll do the little one that we got. It is beautiful too. It was quite compact. I'll show you that, and I've been soaking it because the roots had come through the slits and were dying and breaking off, but it seems better. It was very dry and hard, this one. The big one was soaking wet. Not flooding, but very, very wet. So here we are, we're ready to go, we'll see. And we'll talk about split leaves. And besides split leaves, every leaf is got a little bump on it. See if I can show you this. Every leaf ends in a kind of little different shape. There's little bumps. So, and there's some split leaves, but the color is good. And they're from the greenhouses on the coast. And of course, we've had our hottest year ever, so maybe it was so hot and dry, maybe their humidity, it could be a humidity problem that causes split leaves, or it could be something to do with watering, and on and off, got dry, got wet, but it is a big one. It's been in this pot a long time, I can tell, but we picked what we thought were the best ones, but I see roots here already that are coming off. So I don't know if the last orchid I repotted, it kept all its blooms. It's on the table there, and it's no sign of losing them. But this one, I'm not going to guarantee anybody. It'll just depend on how the roots are. But I try to pick lots of aerial roots, and you can see where they were also winding around the outside of the pot. It seems they're always the best on the outside. As soon as you get near the inside, then there's not much on the inside. It's lucky it's got good roots. And I don't know, another repot, you can see a lot of vellum here with nothing on it, maybe removed another time. This is why I like to do them right away. If I lose the flowers, I lose the flowers, but this is so compact in here. You know, it's the same old story. They've been a while growing this big. They probably haven't been repotted at all. And they're no longer breathing, and luckily it sent out the aerial roots to help it out. Because if I had picked one with there was others there. There was only a half a dozen, seems to be what they get in. But with no aerial roots, and then you've got a real problem, I think. So if you've just bought your orchid, I suggest from experience, you see, if I had left it in this, it didn't matter if I changed my watering schedule because it's in moss or not. it's just too compacted for anything to breathe in there. And so I like to take them home, repot them. We got it yesterday. I soaked my bark right away when I got home. I made sure I have enough. And we'll be ready to go. Put it in a pot. And we just like to get all this out of here. There we go. Okay. Oh, we're still pulling some out. Well, we got some roots, but we also got a lot of vellum, so it must have changed pots at some time, and it still wasn't that good because there's vellum here that I never pulled the roots off of. And so I guess they just left it, and I do that sometimes too. Rather than snip it, I will pull them off. So this is basically what we have. I'm going to rinse it off and clean it up, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, we'll better put it there, like that. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to show you a few things that I think this plant has been stressed more than once in its life. So we'll get in there and we'll have a look what I've found. Okay, in here, right in here, it's quite dark. And the few roots that are coming off of here, I think I'm going to leave this one. If you can see it, it'll help you make decisions on what you're leaving. It's not really mushy, but it stopped, and then the vellum continued. Got a few more green roots. I'll probably leave it on the top, the surface, so I can keep an eye on it. So there was something here, but I think it's healed. I think it's healed. So there's a dark spot there I'm not really liking. I might just put a little bit of peroxide on there. I got some. So I think what I'll do is that dark spot in there, just in case, I have some hydrogen peroxide, and I'm gonna spray some right in there. There. I don't want to get any on the roots, and I think I'll stick with that. And I mean, it's growing past that this time, but it's just been wet for a while, so I'll make sure that that is above and I can keep my eye on it. And I have stripped off the gooey ones, and there was a lot of vellum in there, so I can't really say that they didn't repotted at some time, because they must have, because there was this vellum everywhere. So wow, amazing, isn't it, that you have this beautiful plant, but under the surface it's been stressed. No two ways about it. So let's just move this out the way. That'll go to my compost for the garden. And this. And we got a nice new pot that I've washed. So that should be good. And we've got our bark, which I've done a lot of because I might do some extra. So let's put a little bit of bark in our pot, in the bottom. Yes, this will be good because you see I want to have it a little higher while this all dries out where I spray. So I think I'll just make sure that I leave it a little higher, and I'll work all this inside. It's going to be very beautiful. I think we're going to be okay because these aerial roots, somebody's been cutting off. Don't cut off your aerial roots. I love them, and they're what can get, if you do have a sick, stressed plant and you got aerial roots, it'll help it get its nutrition that way. So you don't want to cut them off. They're part of the beauty, the natural beauty of how they grow and what they are. So I'll show you after. So that little area where I was concerned and the one aerial root that had come out is going to be above the surface for now. So we're just going to, I usually just take my fingers and wiggle it all into the little holes. And some people take off the metal that holds the spikes, but when it's in full bloom like that, I find you have a little bit more firm control, and I hold on to both of them. So I don't take them out when I'm repotting. I leave them in, and they help me to hold on to the plant. Now, you know, if you're going to cut off the spike, if it's already served its purpose, then there's not a problem with that. So I'm going to press this down in there. It'll have new roots before long. So it doesn't need water. Today's watering day. And I think I'm going to put this on the same schedule as the last one I repotted. I'm not going to water it for 2 weeks. I'm going to mist the aerial roots, and I'm going to let them dry out down there a bit. The bark is moist, but I'm going to let them just heal. And once the flowers are gone, and we'll see how they do, because we did have to operate a little. It's so beautiful. And it'll stay with my mister on the counter, and there's always humidity in here. So if you can see right in here, I'll try and get you close. There's the spot I still want to get air. And so I think we're good. We'll keep our eye on that. We found out what the problem was, but if I had kept it in, these flowers could last, who knows, another month or so. They're almost in full bloom. There's a couple buds there. And if I just left it in there, water or no water, it was suffocating. It was suffocating, because you can compare that to the roots on the plant that I'd had for 3 years or so. There's a big difference. So there we are. We got number 1 done. And we're very happy with it. But you never know what you're going to find inside until you look. And it's best to look and know, so you can make a decision of how you're going to look after it. And I think we have time to have a look at the little one. So we'll just quickly, so I leave my metal spikes in. Now this one was firm. The opposite of the other one, it was dry, and there's roots stuck here. Yeah. Those holes, I like big holes, because, oh boy, maybe I can slip that plastic a bit. I'm not going to reuse this pot, I don't use these kind, but if I slip that plastic a bit, the root might survive somewhat. It isn't in very good shape, but there we go, we got it. Okay, we got it. There's something else stuck, I can feel it. Oh, no. Huh. Oh, the bottom. They've been going through the bottom too. Whew. There we go. But it looks like we have nicer roots on this little one. So this is how it's looking. If you want to compare, if you're scared to do it, I love repotting because you get to see, you get to know your plant. You get to know how it's been doing. Now, they cannot breathe. Maybe in some really arid places, you know, like here we're on a big lake, so we always have some humidity. And it was the driest summer ever, and we still have some because of the lake. So we're not an arid place. In the summer, of course, we were in the hundreds for the whole summer, and upper 90s. But we always have a bit of humidity, not overly so. And I keep all my pots going because of, you know, it was 3 degrees outside this morning. And I keep these going because we got the furnace going, we got the heat. So I have 2 Mr. Foggers in the window. And I have, we made a new one for those who don't want to drill a hole in a beautiful pot. And you still want to get a Mr. Fogger because the plants love them. And you don't want to drill. I have that beautiful pot over, over with the new pot that we just made. Now I filled that pot. It's a beautiful pot. I love it. I filled it with water. I threw a Mr. Fogger in there, and it hangs over the edge in the back. You can't see the cord. And Jack just cut, and you could probably get it done at a glass cutter. He just cut a circle out of it. It was a little round glass top that they often have on little tables and stuff. And I had one, and he cut a circle out so that I had something to lay the pot on, but the humidity would come up from inside the big pot, and it surrounds the pot as it comes out. It's in the center. He just finished that. So, yes, he's good. I'm spoiled. But, you know, if you can't drill a hole, if you want to utilize a beautiful pot, just hang it over the edge and put something on the top. You can put a plant right over it. It's a beautiful spot. You can use it as a decorator item in any room of your house. So, you know, if you can't do it one way, you'll figure out another way. So, oh, this one's got beautiful roots. This is a lot happier. There's one that's broken here, but it's not, I'll show it to you in a second. Just get the rest of this out. Okay, let's see what we got here. I've still got lots of moss to pick out, and I'll do that. But yes, I say this one is pretty good. We're happy. It's beautiful, isn't it? And Marilyn, if you're listening, and for anybody else that reads the comments, Marilyn had such a good idea. She said, why don't you name your plants? And she gave me two names, Sunrise, and I wrote them down, honestly I did, and I'm going to figure out what kind of name tags. And it's kind of like when you adopt a pet or something. It's had a name before, but you don't know what it is. And I keep saying, oh, the fowl that was here or the fowl that was there. So I'm going to take her advice, and I'm going to name them all. And I'm going to use her 2 names for the ones that were there and that she was talking about. I'm going to put little tags on them. And then when I say such and such, because I plan on keeping them a long time, and some of them already have been here a long time, then when I talk about them, we'll get used to it, just be like talking about Maggie. So I'll just rinse this off, and we'll put it in the pot. And I could have shut you off for a minute, but I think we'll just be really quick. I'm liking that. Both these pots, we picked up at a garage sale. The one that I just put the orchid in never had a saucer. And this one, it's old, it's been around, and it had kind of bumpy little things on it. But I loved it anyway. And we pick them up at such a good deal that that's the pot we're using. So I don't see any problem. I think I have most of the moss out. Look at that long vellum. That's the longest one I've ever seen. If I can, rather than cut them, I'll just pull these off. See that? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. We just pull them off. It's, you know, if they're good or not, and they help hold the plant in the pot. And I kind of like leaving them, kind of like combing your hair after you've had a shower. So there, I think we're good. I don't see anything to worry about, so we'll put some bark in the bottom. This one will be squeezed in this little pot, but it's been in a little pot. And it's just going in. There we go. There's one I don't like though. Let's take that one. That one's just, where are you going? Oh, round and round. Well, it's only, these are decisions you have to make when you do repot one. You have to decide, see now, it went dry, but then it turned out fine and I'm leaving it. So those are little decisions you make. But what I always look for, is it gooey? Is it black and messy looking? Then for sure it's coming off. So we're ready to go in the pot. In we go. Nice green ones on the top. Oh yeah, is that a beauty? Pretty soon I have to quit, or we're going to have to win the lottery and build the orchid room right on the end here. We keep thinking, well, if we did, because, you know, I'm going to be 70 next summer, and we put those 3 layers of plastic over the greenhouse all the time and go out there all winter. So we thought, well, if we win the lottery, you know, everybody's thinking about downsizing. Not us. We're thinking, oh, we could put a little end on and put our greenhouse right on the end of the house here. And have it made so that the whole room can be hosed down if we wanted to. And bring in the orange tree and the lemon tree and the coffee plants. We're always dreaming. I guess we're dreamers, but you know, you can make your dreams come true. Yeah, it's kind of like color. I think color, there's lots you can read about color on the internet, and color is good for you. The color of orchids or the color of glass. Of course, your eye is seeing all this color, and it has good benefits. And I like to have lots of color in my life. I like to have plants, the pets, the husband. Oh, not in that order. Not in that order. No. I put on the front of this a picture of Mom just after we got home, so it's going to be a long video. I hope I don't have to split it up, but there we go. We got this one done. How beautiful is that? Now you just have a look. How beautiful is that? I don't think repotting is going to hurt this one too much. I could be wrong. Well, we've done that one, and that is it. And I'll show you a close-up. I'll show you a close-up of what I'm doing with the misters, what I'm using inside of them, different finds that I found work better, and how to take care of them so they last a long time. Mine are over a year old and I'm still using them. And I'm using them every day. So I have pointers on how to keep them that way. And thank you for joining me. I love doing this. I love having you, and we'll see you next time.